All right, my first item for my list, a home gym under $1,000, is $1,000. Oh, sorry, not $1,000.
What?
Uh,
One
just
item?
one, just one thing.
A thousand
uh,
dollar a trainer. That's
is a trainer. Is a great program. Is a mat. So I use a mat for my warm up. I use it to stretch, jump on. It's like $1 mat. Like so, it's like a wrestling mat, hard top, soft bottom. Love that thing. Use it all the time.
what's
Um,
the cost on that?
I'd say like $100. Um,
That's not too bad.
yeah, and I think that was like it. There could be other models that were like 100. I mean, sorry, 50 to 100. So kind of in that range. Not super
Hmm.
expensive, but I thought about like what's something I use every single day, and that would be number one. Next would be adjustable dumbbells. I'd say adjustable dumbbells up to 80s, and I had those priced. What were those priced? It was like $300 to $400. But I love adjustable dumbbells for upper body strength, any leg work, lunges, split squats, single leg deadlifts. I think are great for even jumping with dumbbells for plyometrics. I think is
Hmm.
great.
Yeah.
So definitely for upper body, and then I think people would say like a barbell would be best for like lower body strength, but I thought dumbbells are very versatile,
I agree.
and they don't take up much space, so you're not really, it's not like a rack or anything like that.
Yeah.
Um,
So I have a question. Have
yeah,
you used? Do you have adjustable dumbbells right now?
I don't. I love if me personally, like we talked about in the beginning, quality versus,
Yeah.
you know, get good quality. I have a full set of dumbbells up to 75. So
Okay.
fives in 5 pound increments. And I would
Oh
never
wow,
get,
5 pound increments. So that's a ton. That's a big set
yeah, I got
of
a full,
dumbbells.
full set of full rack of dumbbells, which I would
Yeah.
never get rid of. I love them. They're actually like York dumbbells, which they like have like a little, just like the handle feels so nice in your hand.
Oh yeah. York
So,
is like one of the best.
yeah, so I would never get anything different. But I think if you're home gym, you're trying to save some space. Maybe like I have a whole
Definitely.
garage dedicated to my gym. So just I think this list is just depending on where you are in your fitness career. Maybe you're just starting out. I think it's a great thing to start with. If you've been doing it for a while, maybe you're upgrading to individual dumbbells. But yeah, I think I just like the adjustability for the adjustable dumbbells. So you can
And weight wise, like so adjustable dumbbells are pretty expensive, but they're super versatile, like you said. And I think today the quality is way better. I'd say like 10, 15 years ago, the adjustable dumbbells were a little bit shaky, at least the ones that I had seen. I wouldn't have trusted like throwing it around much to do a lot of different things, but I've used some sets that you can do everything and you don't notice a difference at all between a regular dumbbell and an adjustable. So I think that that's a great idea, a good buy.
Yeah, I don't know if I necessarily would be doing like a dumbbell snatch with them. Like I don't have enough experience with adjustable dumbbells to be like, oh, definitely do a clean and jerk with this, and it will be fine and not land on your head. But I think that maybe that's not part of your program, or I think it's just good to bench, row, curl,
Yeah.
press like some weights. I think is a good versatile option. Um, Adding kind of with that is a good quality adjustable bench. I think that's just like helps with angles and positions. You can go flat, incline, decline, up and down. I think is a great tool to have. You could do even some step ups on those, depending on the stability. Obviously, quality matters. I've used adjustable benches where like I felt like if I grabbed anything heavier than 50 pounds, I'd fall through it.
Yeah.
Um, so definitely like depending on your strength or what you're focusing on. But a lot of clients like this is kind of like, hey, get a dumbbell adjustable bench. Like I can do, so many
Ton of
exercises.
stuff with that.
I
Yeah.
think like as a trainer, you just like I work with a lot of people who work from their house. It's like grab a dumbbell bench and some bands, which is my next thing on the list is like I could train anyone,
Oh,
and get them
easily.
to a
Yeah.
really good level with that. Really capable. So it doesn't take too much. Like I said, I do a set of resistance bands. I think some long bands, some shorter bands for like wrist or your ankles to do some work there as well.
Hmm.
And I had bands around like you can get sets for like, you know, $20. But if you get like two sets of bands, maybe a long one and a short one, like you're at like, 40 to, $50.
Hmm.
It's not too much. I had my adjustable bench at like $150. I think I've seen them for 100, but I was also like 150. So,
Yeah.
um, would be kind of where I'd go from there a little bit. Um, Next, I was actually shocked. I was surprised with, I was like, okay, after that, I was like, depending on what your setup is, I think like space dictates this a little bit.
Hmm.
I was like, okay, if you just have a room in your house or like, an extra bedroom, I don't think you're getting like a squat rack with like
Yeah. Yeah.
barbell and plates. But I'll just go on a little tangent. It wasn't that expensive to get a rack with a cable. It had like a center cable. I was actually shocked because I was like,
Hmm.
it had a pull-up bar, so it had like some versatility, but it was only like $300, and it looked like decent quality. I wouldn't say
Yeah.
like you're back squatting 500 pounds on there, but like for what you wanted to do, like you could put a bar on there. So that rack I saw was like $300. Let me check it. What it was. The rack was $300, which I thought was pretty nice with a pulley. I just don't think a lot of people have space for that.
Hmm.
But I thought that was like a pretty cool
That's a
option.
pretty good price. $300 for a rack. Yeah.
Yeah. Even if you didn't say you even didn't get the barbell, you just had the cable there and a pull-up bar, I think you're doing pretty well.
That's pretty good.
Um,
Yeah.
it does blow the budget when you put like a barbell and weights on there. Like that goes past our
That's yeah.
$1,000.
That's I'll
Um,
talk about that when I do mine because I was like,
yeah,
oh man,
yeah.
he's,
So
he's
like
getting into racks here. Okay.
I'm not going to go there, but that was a good option if you were like, hey, for $300, it's not bad. The direction I went in, and I personally would go in again, would be like a power rack. So this is just a pull-up bar and then a dip station, and then you can also do like knee tucks. I don't know if you've seen those before, or
Hmm.
if you can visualize that. But I think that I call them power racks. I think they're called power racks.
Yeah.
But I think that's great to utilize. I used a lot with the bands, even if you don't have a pull up yet. I think you do a lot of pull downs, hooking the band up to the top and pulling down. Just a good place to put bands to do different exercises, whether you're stretching or doing, movements. But I loved it for like pull ups and dips and core. I thought it
Yeah.
was like a great, like,
And that's like those
extra
are like the standalone ones, right? It just kind of it
standalone.
has its own. Yep. Okay, I've
Yep,
seen
and it
those.
doesn't take up a big footprint. You could put things behind it, next to it, so like you can keep it really tight. We actually had one in our living room in an older house when we lived in Beverly. Uh,
JP's watching football and doing knee raises and
yeah,
leg lifts.
yeah. There was like a
No,
dining room, and we just had like a full gym in there.
that's
uh,
the most bachelor pad thing ever. Chris was
yeah,
probably like, I love this decor.
oh yeah. People loved it coming over. They're like, oh, are we working out? I was like, no, it's just how we live.
This is my
Uh,
life.
that's it. Yep. So I think a power rack is, and they're fairly cheap, $120,
Yeah,
100. I think I've seen
that
it for
sounds right.
100 to up to 150. Not too crazy. So, and then after that, I mean, maybe this is where the price could go crazy depending on where you go. But like, I think a kettlebell is a good choice. I actually, before kettlebell, I'd actually go with like a medicine ball. And if,
Oh,
I
okay.
don't know if you could do this in your house or outside your house, but I think like throwing a medicine ball around is like
I was
awesome. Whether
torn
you,
about that. I was torn on that one
yeah, like
on
this
my
is where
list.
it kind of like everything I said before this point is like, yeah, no brainer. And then after that, it kind of, I think it dictates on like what your goals are. So like if I was programming for someone who had all that equipment, I'd be like, okay, what if you're going to get another piece of equipment, what would you get? It would be like either a ball to throw with, or I'm not actually a huge fan. I do a ton of exercises with like a like a not a medicine ball, like Bosu ball, the big like
Hmm.
yoga
Yeah,
balls.
exercise ball. Yeah.
Yeah, exercise ball. I think like is a ton of exercises you can do there with like hamstring curls. You can do a bunch of core exercises, bunch of stretching on there. So like me being into like my golf phase right now, like I use a Bosu like
Golf
a
era.
golf era. My midlife crisis, like I use that all the time to stretch or loosen up or do a bunch of exercises with. And I think like also a ball to throw with, like medicine ball. I don't really like the bouncing ones. I like the ones that like kind of like dead, like
Yeah.
so they're not bouncing at you.
The bouncing ones are like if you're semi strong, you're gonna hit your ceiling. Like they bounce so high,
so much. So like anything you throw, I think like an overhead throw is great. Throw out in front of you, and it doesn't roll out as much. Like if you have one that bounces, it's gonna roll. So I love
agree.
those. And then like a kettlebell, I think is like just a different stimulus, but that's kind of getting to like you might be pushing past your budget there. But I know like I actually did the price out for like before the squat rack and the barbell, and I think it was only like $600 for like.
That's so cheap, man.
Yeah, like it was like I was like I was. That's why it made me want to look for something really expensive. I'm like, oh, maybe I can get something really expensive here. But I think just with what I said.
Yeah, that's so cheap.
Yeah, like
for a gym, for a good starter, like a really good starter pack.
I could tell you my dumbbell rack cost more than that.
I was just gonna say
just the rack.
I didn't want to freak people out, but when you were like, "Oh, I have 75 to 5 pounds in 5 pound increments," I was like, "That's at least like $1,500 in."
Yeah, it was like I think it was like $1,500 plus the racks, like another $600.
Yeah, like I don't think people understand how expensive equipment is.
I did own a gym at some point, so like this stuff like wasn't a commercial.
Yeah, it's an occupational. Yeah, but like I don't think people understand. I'm not trying to scare people off, but like how expensive a gym can get if you go crazy and you don't know. If you just bought random stuff and you didn't have like a very specific list, you could easily rack up a huge bill for a garage gym and end up in like, with wasted money because you're like.
And I think like if you're not using it, it's, like you said in the beginning, it's like you see cardio equipment all the time. I wouldn't go with any cardio equipment. I just say go walk, like get your steps in. Steps, run. Like,
oh, you're gonna see that was my controversial purchase. So
I think depending like where I live right now, like I will say climate matters. Mm-hmm. I can always pretty much go outside every single day and walk and not be in snow or too cold. Where like I do agree that up in New England, like you do need a piece of cardio equipment. I think like to warm up on really cold mornings, like I think you need it. So I would say maybe I would reconsider it if I thought about like a warm up, but I think you can get warmed up with stuff I said and just body weight. Like even if you just did like a little dynamic warm up, I think you can get warm enough.
The weather thing is a real factor, and so before I say my list, I'm just gonna say like my list I created with like an average gym goer who's like I'm gonna start a home gym. So this isn't a person who wants to be an athlete per se or a CrossFitter. This is just like general fitness across the board. So that's kind of like when people hear this list, they may be like, oh, like that's really like that's not stuff Mickey's using. Oh, it is all actually mostly stuff I use all the time. But like you're not going to see things where there's no sled. Like I use a sled every week, but I don't have a sled on here, right? So there's things like that. Yeah. So my list is 10 items, which I didn't plan it to be 10 items. So we're averaging $100 an item. And I'm just going to go right down the list.
I'm shocked by when you said that.
Yeah. So my first item was a 50-pound dumbbell.
Okay.
Single. I looked at the adjustable ones and I just couldn't get by the like 3 to 5. You can get a set for like $800. Like they could go super expensive. And I was kind of like, all right, if I'm an average male and I just need like a single dumbbell, 50 pounds is, in the middle there. You can use it for a lot of different stuff. You can use it for goblet squats, single arm rows, presses, et cetera. Very versatile.
It's funny. I would think that, sorry to interrupt you.
No, keep going.
I'm surprised you went with a 50.
Yeah, so I'll explain why.
And maybe not like a 35 or like a...
So I was thinking like, okay, take me, like an average me, and I want to make a home gym in my apartment, and I got like a 10 by 10 square.
Got it.
And I'll explain why the 50 will work with other stuff.
Got it.
That because I don't have anything lighter than that in here.
Yeah.
As far as I know.
That's what my concern would be is like I wouldn't necessarily tell one of my clients to start with a 50.
Yeah.
But I think it depends on your fitness level. So
it's all depending. I mean, you could save a lot of money and get a 35, and then you're only spending like $40 rather than
Right.
$60. So a 50
Yep.
pound dumbbell is $60 at Walmart. I have the website right here. And again, super versatile, can do a lot with it. Then a 70 pound dumbbell, right? Again, on Walmart, rubber hex dumbbell is $90.
Yep.
So those are my two like main weights, aside from a kettlebell, which I'll talk about later. Again, the 70 you can do a ton with. As you get stronger, you can do your goblet squats, your single arm rows. You can do single arm bench press and presses. If you wanted to get crazy and do snatches or push press or clean and jerks, you can do that with the 70 pound dumbbell. And it's going to come back and circle around to connect to some other stuff as well that'll be useful. So those are my dumbbell weights. These are both CAP brand, CAP, which I've had set from them for a while. They're not as nice as York, but they're very sturdy, long lasting.
Yep.
I've had mine for like 8 or 9 years now. And I actually have bought all my dumbbells through Walmart. They seem to be the best price you can get right now in terms of like price per pound. So $90 for a 70 pound dumbbell is a pretty good deal. And that's free shipping from Walmart too. So you can get it sent right to your house. You don't have to worry about paying crazy shipping.
Delivery guy's going to be pissed, but yeah.
Yeah, that's happened to me a few times. Like they show up and they're like, "What is this?" And it's like 100-pound dumbbell. I'm like, "I'll get it, dude. Just leave it on the back of the truck." Yeah. And then my third weighted item, like I mentioned, is a 70-pound kettlebell. Okay. And again, kind of on the heavy side, but if you want to do like some like RDLs or stagger stance RDLs, kettlebell swings, things like that, the 70 is going to be really versatile. You can do a lot with it. You can go lighter and go like 53 or even a 35-pound kettlebell. Kettlebells are a little more on the expensive side if you get sort of a mid-range quality. So 70-pound kettlebells like $85. So the 50 is like $65. 35 is about $55, $45. So that's all my weights. Like that's all the weights I have, but it's not all the resistance I'm going to have, but that's all my weights. Just interesting. Yeah. Put that out there. And then I have a set of exercise bands. They're like $30. I saw them on Amazon, read the reviews. There's like 5,000 reviews from different people. They all had like, it's like 4.8 quality. So nothing where it's like, oh, these snap the first time I use them.
See, it's funny. So, the one piece of quality, sorry to interrupt you. The one piece of quality I don't care about is the bands.
Yeah, well, because
they always break. I bought the nicest bands and they break, and I bought the cheapest bands. They last longer. But like, I had to replace mine because they were on my rack for so long. They like melted. Like they melted onto my rack. I was like,
because of moisture and dry and moisture.
Yeah, like it just happens. Just dry rotted out. I'm like. Bands are like, I'll just pick the cheapest bands. Not the cheapest, but I'm like, I don't care about bands.
Bands are kind of like, for those of you building your garage gym out there, bands are kind of like socks. Yeah. Like they're really nice when you buy them at first, and then over time they just get kind of ratty and stretched and don't work as well. You just got to you just sort of need to come to terms with the fact that every 3-4 years, you're going to have to get new ones, especially if you use them a lot. But these were like $30 and it's varying tension. And so I don't have lighter dumbbells, but you can do a ton of stuff with bands like lateral raises, even set up a situation where you can press overhead with bands and do curls or tricep push downs. So you don't need a lot of like various weights, but you can still get lighter loads and different levels of tension and resistance using the different size bands. So that was my rationale for starting with a 50-pound dumbbell and nothing lighter, if that makes sense.
So it's funny, like my one critique, like for me personally, is like I don't think I even touched the 50 for a while. Like the warm up, like I'd be more concerned about the warm up. Like, hey, what do I start with?
Yeah, so that I'll get to that in a little bit because there's a solution for most of those things coming in a little bit. But the other nice thing about the bands is if you're not good at pull-ups, you can use the bands to assist. If you want to add more tension, like I've done goblet squats with my heaviest dumbbell and then added bands, so it's even tougher, right? So the bands add a lot of versatility to any weight that you have, and then if you go down the road of getting a barbell, you can get even more versatile with bands and do stuff with that. So bands are a great tool for anybody building a garage gym or like a home gym, the big ones and the small ones. I didn't have the small ones that you mentioned that you can like wrap around your knees or your ankles and do stuff with, but those are also a very good choice
Yeah.
to add into the mix. And those, like I said, I think were like $20 for the bands. I'm not spending a lot on bands, like I said, because you and I have both experienced it. You know, you buy Rogue bands and they still only last as long as the ones that are some random brand from Amazon. So there's no point.
Yeah.
My bench, I had 2 different benches. I left a little wiggle room at the end. I had spent like $950. So I had just a regular flat bench that was rated to like 700 pounds for like $90 on Amazon. And then I found another bench that was like $130 that was rated, that's adjustable and rated to like 600 pounds. I think either one's a good choice depending on what you want to do. I actually think I lean towards just a flat bench because I would like double it as something you could do for like box jumps, something like that, or step ups, because it's rated to 700 pounds. Like you're not gonna ever load it over that with just your body and dumbbells, and it's rock solid. It's not foldable or anything like that. So I that's the only reason I think I'd lean towards actually just a flat bench. The foldable ones, I'm a little hesitant to be doing any stepping onto or like jumping onto, just because they have levers and stuff that you might accidentally unclick and it could fold up on you or collapse on you, and you don't want that situation.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think even too, like people, you can put plates underneath a flat bench and make it an incline.
Exactly.
Like,
yeah, you can find ways to create different angles with those flat benches, which is what I used to do in my old gym. I didn't have an adjustable, and I used to just put plates underneath or a dumbbell or something, and make it inclined or declined or whatever.
Yeah.
And that was about $90. Not that bad actually. And again, lots of good reviews. You could go crazy and get a really super expensive weight bench, but I think if it's a flat one and it's just one solid assembled thing that doesn't fold up, you're pretty safe. It's pretty hard to break these things. And then my next item, which I was surprised you said like a rack, but then you said like the power rack with it was basically just the pull-up bar and the dip.
I was surprised that you could get a rack at that price. I was like, oh wow, like you could.
Yeah, you can,
that.
and they're all pretty decent now. They're not really, they look like they're pretty solid. Back in the day,
I think space wise is the biggest thing there.
Yeah, it's just a lot. So back in the day, it would be like $1,000 to get a rack, like a barbell rack with everything. I got a wall mounted pull-up bar for about $75 on Amazon. 500-pound capacity. And it's just a pull-up bar because my next purchase is a set of rings. Or you could get like a set of TRX straps. And the reason being, you can use the rings to do rows. You can use the rings to work up to working on like dips. You can also do like face pulls and stabilization stuff on the rings. So again, the pull-up bar is really simple, but it becomes your sort of vessel to do a lot of other stuff. So you can add the rings onto it, you can add bands onto it to do tricep push downs and things like that. And then you can also add on my next purchase. The pull-up bar is $75 on Amazon. Lots of good reviews. I've had good luck buying this type of stuff on Amazon as long as I check the reviews on them. But the gym equipment I've bought there has been really great for me actually. Because I'm sure some people are worried about quality, but the quality was pretty great. The rings are about $30.
One thing
go ahead.
One thing I'll say about the pull-up bar, which I think a lot of people like, I don't have a pull-up. I think it's not necessarily for pull-up. Like it is eventually for pull-ups, but also just hanging, putting things on to like do other exercises with. I think it's just like, I think I like that from a budget standpoint more than I like a power rack, like I talked about, and it's more stable. So like I really like that purchase. And then coupling that with the rings is like, I use my rings all the time. Like
all the time, dude.
I forgot about how good the rings are. Push, pull, like, you could do core with them. Like it's very versatile. So like, yeah, I love that.
So the pull-up bar is $75. And that's like a solid stud pull-up bar, like not hanging from your ceiling. Like this is, you hang it off the wall and it has the, support. So you can load this thing up pretty much as heavy as you're ever going to need. Right. And then you get the rings, which are $30, and you can just hang those on the bar. And then the next thing is a pulley system, which is $40.
Yeah.
And now it kind of, all my other purchases kind of come full circle because you can use the pulley system that hangs from the pull-up bar. And that pulley system allows you to do curls, tricep push downs. You could do lat pull down, rows. even presses, even like lower body leg stuff. And you can then load your dumbbells on there. There's a strap for you to tie on like your 50-pound, your 70, or your kettlebell. And you can
Is it
even
one of the pulley
have,
systems that has like the? Is it just from the top, or does it come down to the
it
bottom
actually
too?
has two. So you can like set it up from the top, and then it has like a
Yep,
secondary thing where you can do from the bottom as well.
got it.
And you don't need it to be anchored to anything. It just has like a setup where it kind of like you can flip it and pull from the bottom using like a counterweight.
Yep,
So, but yeah, so the pulley system's super versatile. And again, I don't have a lot of smaller weights, but when you're using the pulley system, 50 pounds on the pulley is not going to feel like a ton. So you can adjust that, and
right.
it's probably more like 25 to 30 pounds when you're on a pulley system. So, um, I know, like I said, I don't have a ton of lighter weights, but as you work up, or as you're in your gym and you have more time, if you need to save up some money, you could throw some lighter dumbbells or kettlebells in there to use on your pulley system.
Yeah.
And that was only $40. I was surprised, on Amazon as well. And then here's my last item, my big one.
The big boy.
I got a fan bike on Amazon for $500. And again, super skeptical, because I think cardio machines are a place where you probably want to go with quality, right? So I saw a $500 fan bike, which on the usual, you're going to get like an Echo bike for like $900, or an assault bike for around the same.
Did it look like an assault bike, or more like?
It does look like an assault. It's designed. It looks like they basically took assault bike's page and they're like, oh, we like this, and they, knocked it off. I did a deep dive on this because like I don't want to tell people to buy this if it's like a piece of junk and like the wheel flies off.
It's the exact same.
Yeah. So, and this is on sale right now, so I might be plugging Amazon big time. But it's normally a $700 bike, but it's on sale for $489 or $480.
So if you could pick between that or like a squat rack with a barbell, which one would you pick?
Does it come with weights?
Yeah.
I'd still pick this, actually, I think.
Really?
For New England. Because like I said, I think when you wake up in February and you look out the window and it's just raw out there, jumping on your fan bike in the nice warm inside is a great feeling. Yeah. I think and the footprint's not very big for fan bikes, for any kind of bike, really. If you want to get a C2 bike or like a resistance bike for a spin, I think that's fine as well. I just like fan bikes because I think you can do the really low end stuff, like steady ride, and then the harder stuff is just, I think, harder on the fan bike and hits better and gives you sort of the bang for your buck that you want. Yeah. So that's why I think the fan bike, that was like my big ticket item, because I was like, you can only run in place and do jump rope so much. Like, you might want a little bit of spice to be able to do some different type of cardio. And I think a treadmill is just too much footprint and not that great compared to a fan bike.
Right.
So
if you were going to rank all those pieces of equipment which one would you purchase? Like, you're like, hey, this is the most important to me.
Dumbbells every day. The dumbbells, if I was like, oh, I can only buy one type of thing for my whole home gym, I would just buy a set of dumbbells, like 15, 35, 50, 70, then maybe like one heavy one. And then that'd be like my whole set.
Yep.
Because you could do so much stuff with dumbbells. I think they get like highly underrated in the sense that people think they need other things, and it's like, well, why don't you use a dumbbell for that? Like they always go to like something else, and I always just end up back at my dumbbells. I'm like, I can try a different thing, but I'm like, the dumbbells just.
If I could bring one piece of equipment with me, like say I was traveling and for a whole year and I didn't have a gym, like I would bring a dumbbell.
Yeah. Like, what weight would it be?
If I got like one. It'd be between that 50 and 70.
Yeah, me too.
Because I think you can use it, like I was thinking about yours. I'm like, I don't know, 50 sounds like heavy. But like you could do like a 2-arm curl with it. Like you could warm up like with like using both arms for one weight. It doesn't have to be like all right, first set, 50-pound press. Like
you could do some push-ups and some stuff with it before you got to the push-up, to the press.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I had to pick one, it'd be like that 65 or 60, like just kind of in between the 50
like in
and
that
70.
sweet spot. Yeah.
Yeah, if I could only pick one, but
I mean, I don't believe in, oh, you got to wreck yourself, but you could wreck yourself with a 50-pound dumbbell. Like you
oh yeah,
could do some damage. Like I've done some workouts with one 50-pound dumbbell where I was like, that was horrible.
yeah.
Like, you do not need a whole lot.
Yeah,
In terms of dumbbell.
sometimes I think kettlebell. I'm like, oh, maybe a 53-pound kettlebell like would be like the best thing to travel with.
Because if
But
it's just one thing. Yeah.
yeah,
But I would say, yeah, that's tricky because I've done swings with a dumbbell and it kind of works, right?
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
yeah, I think dumbbell's king. Like, I think the dumbbell just is so versatile. You can just do so many things with it. And it's the simplest thing, but people, I think, underestimate the capabilities of the dumbbell.
yeah, yeah.
So, my list ended up being like $970, give or take. All of it came from either Walmart or Amazon, so shipping wasn't a problem. So take that into consideration
Yeah,
if you're looking at that stuff.
You can get crushed in shipping with gym equipment.
Yeah, because sometimes if you do a quick search and you're like, oh, I just need some dumbbells, and you pull up a random site, they don't cover shipping on dumbbells, and like every pound you're paying like buco bucks when the UPS guy shows up with it. So
honestly, I feel like you can get a lot of gym equipment that we just talked about off like Facebook Marketplace, like secondhand.
Yeah, the secondhand thing I think is a great option. I've bought some stuff secondhand, but make sure you know your stuff and what you're looking for, and always, if possible, go and like look at it. I don't know if they're gonna let you test it, then like go do a workout with it, but like get your hands on it and look at it, because people do shady things, and sometimes people don't even know that they're selling. They may be selling something for somebody and not know, like, oh, you'll pick up the dumbbell and the head's rotating, like because it's come undone, like that kind of stuff. So just know where you're buying your stuff from, because that can really dictate how long it's going to last for you if it's secondhand.
Yeah, definitely.
So JP, from my list, what's one thing that you wish you bought from my list that you're like, oh man, that was a good purchase?
The rings.
You like my ringies. You like my rings, huh?
I do.
I would say
I didn't. Yeah, I just, or even like a set of parallettes. Like I think are cheap. Like just.
Oh, I love those too. That's a good choice.
That when you were saying your list, I'm like, oh, that'd be a good one. Like add that on there. Just because you could do core there, you could do pressing, you could do you kind of. But the one part you miss with the parallettes that you get with the rings is the pulling part. Like face pulls or ring rows, single arm rows, like just very versatile. And I do think, thinking about this list, I was like, there's a big difference between, like, we'll have to get to another episode, like the stimulus of like body weight versus weights. Like the way a row feels doing like a chest supported row with the dumbbells compared to like a ring row, or even like a dip compared to like, but yeah, I don't know. Like, I think anything you can get, like, I like the rings for the dips too, because that's a position you can't really get in with the dumbbells, or it's hard to get in with the dumbbells, But weighted versus body weight, I think it was something I was thinking about while making my list. I'm like, oh, that's a different stimulus,
It definitely is. I think from your list, I would rearrange mine somehow to try to figure out how to get the adjustable dumbbells, just because I like the idea of having the variety. So you can.
I feel like your list would be like even better with like the adjustables on there.
Yeah, I would just
pretty much. We started with the same thing.
Yeah, we did, and then just had a few small.
I actually, if you could and you felt comfortable with it, this all depends on the room you're choosing. But like, I just didn't think of like putting a barbell into someone's room, like a pull-up bar. Like a fixed pull-up bar in a room. I kind of like the versatility of like being able to move things around. So like, like for us, I use the power rack. Like if we did have people coming over, like I could disassemble it and like put it in a closet. Oh, we have Christmas
for the Christmas party.
We have Christmas this year. Like maybe we don't want everyone doing sets of pull-ups on the
JP. My pull-up bar is also a coat hanger. You just hang coats on it, and it looks like it's a coat hanger. It's just a black metal coat hanger hanging from the wall. In the middle
just
of
my always moving or lack of commitment. I'm like,
I was gonna say, you're
drill something into the wall.
You're a vagabond. You're a
Yeah,
nomad.
I'll be moving before that thing's even set up.
I was gonna say, are you guys moving back up here? You kind
Yeah,
of tell me
we're
something.
moving. We're moving somewhere else.
Yeah, I like the adjustable dumbbells from yours, and I think I think we should emphasize to people like one more time is like this is our list that we kind of made a general, for, but you might have specific things that you want to buy for what your goals are. Um, but I think the point being is like it's very doable. Like a lot of times I'll talk to people like I can't afford to like do a home gym, and I'm like even if you cut this number in half, $500, you could buy a lot of stuff for $500. And I know, money's tight a lot of times for people. And right now with, gas being expensive and groceries, you don't be throwing $500 away. But what I ask, like, what's more important or a better investment than keeping yourself healthy, right? And like having access to fitness in your house, so you don't have the excuse of, oh, I don't want to go to the gym today. Oh, the roads are snowy, I can't get to the gym today. Well, the dumbbells are sitting in the corner staring at you. They're ready for you.
You could do it,
So
and you could do it all day. You could do like I'm gonna do a set of bench now, and I'll do a set of rows later, and like just the accessibility to it, and especially like our demographic of like being parents with kids. It's like you don't always have an opportunity to leave the house for you know an hour. It's like if that like so like my wife will leave in the morning. She'll go to the Y. It's a 20-minute drive. 20 minutes back, that's 40 minutes already. She's probably in the gym for 30 minutes. It's like, I don't know. I just would rather take my time and be in my own home gym for 45 minutes.
do you just look at her? You just like grimace at her when she comes back. You're like, what are you doing?
No, because I do, we could talk about it another time, but I do think there's a time and a place for a gym, like
Yeah.
depending on what your goals are, what you're looking to do, different exercises. But I think like, I don't know, at least 3 days a week you could do dumbbell stuff,
For
and maybe
sure.
like
Oh, for
the
sure. Yeah.
other days you're probably looking to do something else.
Yep.
But 3 days a week, that's, I think it's very versatile.
Yeah. Time is the ultimate currency, man. When the gym's at home, the amount of time you save, that's what drove me to even start a garage gym, is when I knew we were having baby's coming. I was like, I'm not going to have time to drive around. I know Shannon is not going to let me just take off for 3 hours. So I'm going to have to, which I think most of the time you shouldn't be. It's like, you should only
Right.
just take that hour. So, yeah, the home gym is where it's at, and you can get one for $1,000 or less. If you check out these lists, what we'll have to do is on the YouTube page, we'll post, either pictures or links to these different things that we bought for our lists. If you're curious and want to take a look and buy your own stuff.
And I think of the one other piece that people struggle with the most is probably like, what workouts can I do with just a dumbbell rack and a bench? And we'll create a program for you on our Train Heroic that you can go and check out. So you have you can buy the equipment, and then you have the blueprint to do a great workout with. And Mickey will post his, I'll post mine. We'll kind of have two different ones,
Yep.
two different avenues you can go down. And yeah, that'd be a great purchase for you.
got
And then I think people just struggle with like, what do I do with this now?
Yeah, you
Even
got the
cardio
tools,
equipment.
but what do you do with the tools? Like,
Yeah,
how
even
do you?
even the cardio equipment. I bet if you told someone this is your workout today, they would actually do it over like not getting on their cardio equipment at home. Like they just don't like. You might buy the best equipment, doesn't mean you know what to do with it or how to do with
Yeah,
it.
I mean that's how I got my bike in my garage. The guy was like, "Yeah, I bought this thing and it just sat here."
Yeah.
He didn't know what to do with it, and it's a
Right.
bike. It's like, come on, man.
Right.
But yeah,
Get on it.
that's a great point, because a lot of people have stuff at home that just collects dust. We can help you make that, wipe that dust off, dust it off, and use it with some programs that can get you fit in a small amount of time, small amount of money invested.
Awesome.
All right, sir. We will see you all next time. Thanks for listening.